Good evening and welcome to Journey to Prosperity from Women's of Prosperous Hearts. Tonight, our speaker is Raquel De Paz. She's a Women's of Prosperous Hearts mentee, a student at Santa Monica, majoring in public relations, looking to transfer to USC this fall. She has worked corporate jobs from 9 to 5, earning minimum wage or just a few dollars above that, but not really going far or able to live the lifestyle of her dreams. Thanks to Women's of Prosperous Hearts, her mentors have given her guidance and confidence to accomplish bigger goals in life. She now owns her own business in faith, allowing her to express her faith and love for the community. Raquel?
Thank you, Sana. Thank you for the introduction. As Sana mentioned, my name is Raquel. And before we start, I just wanted to give a little introduction or a little backstory of who am I? I come from a single mother household. I was born in Guatemala, and we came here in the US after my father left us. And so I've been here. I'm currently 22 years old. And as Sana mentioned also, I am in college right now in Santa Monica. I'm studying for my public relations major. After I graduated high school, which was in 2016, I was bouncing back and forth. At some point, I wanted to go to the Marines. I was doing food service jobs. I did retail jobs. I did any kind of job that I really shouldn't have been doing in the first place sometimes, because it was just not worth it. It wasn't worth my time. And, I was being undervalued. And I came to one of Sana's events as a +1. And it was the end of the year event, one of the end of the year events. And I didn't know what the event really was. The way it was introduced to me, it was like, we're a bunch of women who get together and talk about life. And I was like, well, I don't have that in my life, so let's go. And I ended up going, and I met women that I've never been exposed to these type of women before, because I come from a minority house, and so all I seen up to that point was just strictly working to kind of like pay your bills, and it was never like working and enjoying life. It was just kind of like scraping by. And these women that I met, they had that and they didn't want that anymore and chose to have something better. And I didn't know that was a possibility for me either. And so that first event, I think I cried, and I was just spilling all emotions everywhere and telling everybody my life, and throwing a little bit of a pity party, I guess you can say. But it exposed me to women who were genuine and cared that I was successful in life at some point. And through them, I was able to find the courage to start my own business, stand my own ground a little bit more. My business it's called In Faith, and it's about candles. I sell candles, and it's just, I'm a very religious person, and I wanted to do something with my life. And what better way to make your house smell good, but also your heart warm with Jesus. But yeah, I did also the mastermind group, the Think and Grow Rich mastermind group with Sana. And that, I feel like, was when my life really started to turn around, because the connections that I built there with the women who attended, the time that I did it, we connected in a way that there wasn't any shame or judgment or anything. Like, we came and we were raw with what we were going through and how we were feeling, and why we were feeling that, and what can we do to get out of the situation that we're in. And that's when I got focused and was like, I don't want this lifestyle for me ever again. And so because of that mastermind group, I was able to pursue what I really want to do.
All right, thank you, Raquel. So I'm opening it up to questions now. Who would like to ask any questions right now? Please raise your virtual hand. Okay, Letty.
Hi, Raquel. That's a beautiful story. And, I see so many being from Mexico myself and knowing what it is to struggle to get up where you want to go. I am very, very impressed with you. And I met you for the last few years. So even where you are today from when I met you is awesome. So I congratulate you. Okay. I have a question for you. You're very young. However, uh, if a younger version of yourself could see you now, what would surprise her the most about who you've become at this stage of your life? Oh,
Sorry, I forgot I was on mute. I think the biggest shock factor for me was that I knew from very young that I was a very loud personality. Like right now, I feel like I'm very calm. But for those of you guys who have seen me in person, they know that I'm usually the one screaming and yelling and, telling directions and telling them what to do. And that was always foreseen as something negative with me. And so I had to learn that, it's not about being bossy or it's not something negative to be direct and affirmative and be a woman at the same time. Because I was always, taught that only men can be that. Only men can tell you what to do, or, they'll decide what goes on. And that just never sit well with me. It could be because the only father figure in my life wasn't there to really do that for me. So I saw my mom step up and do that. But where me and her differ is that she is a little bit more on the gentle side, where I'm more set on what I believe, and I'm not going to change for anything or my opinions. So I think that's probably the biggest shock factor for younger me, is that, she might look at me now and be like, oh my God, Raquel is like this power trip, or like just force that you can't mess with now.
thank you. Thank you. That was really, really good. And I can see all that confidence coming out through the computer. Awesome.
That was my goal.
All right. Thank you, Letty. All right, Kriana, you're next. Can you unmute yourself, please?
I think I did.
Okay, great.
Okay. So my question is, what was the most unexpected or important lesson that you learned over the past 2 years since you've started your own business, enrolled in college, and are planning your life?
I think the biggest one that I've learned is that no one else is gonna do the work for you, I always thought that this is a little bit a part of my faith, but I was always like, if you work hard and, God will open a door. And so to me, I thought, I thought of it literally, like I didn't have to do anything and God was going to make it happen, because that was what was supposed to be meant for me. But I was wrong, that comes with work. I have to be the one, focusing and knowing what it is that I'm doing with my candles. I found this free course. I think it was like a 6-week course on how to make candles, and the different type of candles, the different type of waxes, how much fragrance to put in with the oil, or the wax that you use. But all that wasn't just gonna out of nowhere come into my mind as soon as I said I wanted to become a candle maker. I had to work for that information and figure out and see which one works best for me, and the type of clients that I have, and what it's just the work. The work is not going to come from anybody else but me. And when people see you putting in that work, that's when the support comes, because they see how serious you are about that. But I think of it as I think of myself as an investment, and the more knowledge I put in myself, the more people are going to want to invest in me, whether that's time, money, patience, love, attention, or anything. But if I'm, saying that I want to do all these great things and not putting in any work to do that, no one is going to want to invest even a little bit of time with me to hear me out or hear my problems, because I wouldn't be taking it serious.
Thank you. Next, Kiri. Thank you, Raquel. Thank you, Kriana.
There we go.
Kiri?
Hi. I just want to put out there, I'm from Guatemala too. Hey.
Hey.
That's awesome. I love to hear your story. It inspires me, you know, especially because we come from the same place and we're right around the same age. So that's awesome. One of my first questions, I have two questions. My first question was, what was the greatest struggle you had to overcome to achieve your goals?
The biggest one was like the fear of what others are gonna say. You know, I feel like you can relate a little bit more, you know, I don't know how it is in other cultures, but in the Hispanic culture, like if someone messes up or fails, it's like everyone is talking about them, like, oh, did you see this girl? You know, she tried to do this and look where she ended up. And I was always telling my mom, I was like, Mom, why are you so worried about what people are gonna say about you? They're not paying your bills, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, they're not helping you out. And here I was not even taking my own advice. So once I put that fear of like, what are people gonna think? Because in reality, like I'm out here trying to do something that's gonna make a better living for me, you know? So if people are talking and they're so busy focused on what I'm doing, that means that they're not doing anything. So when I become successful, no matter how many times I try and I fail, these people are still probably gonna be talking about me. So why am I still so worried about them? You know, where I'm gonna be in different rooms with different people with different opportunities. And, you know, I'm not worried about the next person's lane. I'm worried about my lane and what is in front of me for me.
All right, great answer. Kiri, you said you had one more question?
Yes, it's what are you most proud of?
Oh, that's a lot. I think in general, what I'm most proud of is that throughout this whole like ride that I've been with since I've you know, encountered Senna, was that I was true to myself, but also like I found out who I am. Because I was, you know, Senna, you can vouch for me in this, but I was always like, let me ask my mom first. Let me do this first. Let me see how this affects someone else. You know, how I can be there for someone else before. And now I feel like you can still be caring without putting yourself last. So I think that's what I'm most proud of, that I've learned to not put myself last, despite of how it may look, because no one, you know, I know what, you know, why I say certain things. And it's not because I'm being mean or anything, but because sometimes it's okay to put yourself first. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That just makes me a centered and focused person.
Love that. Thank you.
Thanks, Kiri. Anybody else? Avery.
Hi, yes, there's actually noise in my apartment and a low connection. So I'm going to put my question into the chat, if you could look there.
Is that the one that says, Raquel, where were the first steps you took the first few months towards taking control of your future?
Yes, okay. The first steps that I took, I would say, is I had to do kind of like a sit down with myself, and see where I was, where I wanted to be, and where was I headed at the moment. Because I feel like I was always telling myself like, yeah, I want to, when, you know, Senna, when you first met me, I wanted to be an actress, and I still do. I think acting is still part of me, like within me, but maybe the way that it's involved in my life is not the same as I thought it was before, you know? So I had to do that soul searching, but for like myself, not, you know, and what is it that what does it mean to be Raquel? What do you want? Like, what do you want, girl? Sit down and tell me, you know? So I think that those were my first steps. And I think that if there's one piece of advice that I can give is note your goals down, because, you know, if you don't have goals, then you don't even know where you're going, or you don't even know what your next steps are to reach that goal. So once you have your plan set or like written down, then you can start with an action, like plans of actions behind that.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Avery. I hope she answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, great. See Letty, your hand's up.
Yes, I wanted to follow up with everything that, first of all, I want to say you've accomplished so much in your young years. It's taken me a lifetime, and that is so impressive. But, especially like at your young age, who inspires you most in your life, especially where you're at right now?
Oh man, I think first and foremost, my mom. I mean, that woman has been through enough already, and if it wasn't for what I experienced with her, and what she was able to accomplish by herself, I wouldn't be as strong as I am, because I wouldn't have had to be. And that was just my journey. I don't know how my life would have planned out if my father was here, but because he wasn't, my sister and I, we had to figure out how to make ends meet with my mom. And so she is for sure she is my first priority, or the reason that I'm still trying to want more, because I want to somehow repay her everything she's done for me. And my second one, I mean, there's just so many, Letty. I mean, my sister has another big factor. She was the first one that did break out of the 9-to-5 job, and she got the main part of like the comments and like the negativity, because she was the first one to do it after she had a kid out of wedlock. And so she has a big role to play as to why I'm still doing what I'm doing. And I've met so many women and women of prosperous hearts that have helped me so much, whether that's just taking the time to listen to me, or like Sana, who knew what I wanted and did little things to help me, and big things to help me, whether that was under my acknowledge or like under my like knowing of or not. She selfishly just wanted better for me, and she hasn't asked for anything in return, and that's the type of person that I want to be eventually towards the end too. Like, I want to, when I do leave this earth, like what am I leaving behind? And I want to eventually say that I was able to inspire people, and like I don't want ever to make anyone feel like I wasn't there or that I wasn't able to provide for them. And Sana was the one who kind of like made me want that for myself.
Thank you, Raquel. That was great. Letty, is that good? Did she answer your
Yeah,
question?
thank you. Yeah, that was very awesome. I expected like a person, but I love that everybody plays a role, in your life, and have you taken the best out of everybody. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
So anyone else have a question? So what made you decide to become a Women's of Prosperous Hearts mentee, Raquel?
It goes back to the first event that I did with you, Sana. Like I said, I wasn't exposed to that ever, like that type of atmosphere or energy that, women coming together and supporting each other and doing more for themselves or by themselves. These are successful women, whether they're married or not. And so I was like, wait, hold on, I want to be a part of this. Like, this seems legit. Like, this is possible. And what better way to learn from women who have done that already?
Thank you. And then also, what's the next big thing you want to achieve and why?
Oh, my next big thing will probably be for my own business, my in-faith candles, to eventually start selling them in stores, and make them bigger. because there is a purpose behind them. It's not just I'm making candles to make them. Like each candle, I want it to mean something, you know, with my faith and for the community, or for whatever organization I choose to create a candle collection based on. But for my educational goal, I want to see myself graduated and working as a public relations person, you know, in a nonprofit, preferably.
Okay, great.
Like Women's of Prosperous Hearts, for instance.
Oh, great. That's good to know. So, ladies, do you have any other questions for Raquel? No? Well, Raquel, did you want to say anything else?
I just wanted to show one last thing. I like had all these things here gathered, and you know, when you're in the middle of talking, like everything else kind of like goes out your mind. But I wanted to show you guys, you know, part of the work that I was talking about was I designed my own logo. I learned how to use computer systems to do all this stuff, and you know, did my own research to which companies I need to, you know, buy from for my stickers, my candles, or anything. So I, you know, when I first started, my candle was something like this with mason jars. It's a little bit dark now, but this one was one of my Christmas ones. It's a hot chocolate and snickerdoodle cookie one. And this is my logo, my In Faith logo.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm so proud of this one. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to show you that, like, it's what I meant by putting in the work. It wasn't just like making the candles, it's also about the research and, you know, getting, like, I wanted to know every in and out of my business, because I have to, you know, how can I be an owner not know the ins and outs of it?
So I want to say, if it's okay with you, Raquel, when Raquel first came to Women's of Prosperous Hearts, as she came, you know, it was like fun. It was like a party. And we were interviewing the women coming in, and she was one of the people, the young women were interviewing all the women coming in on the red carpet, and we were videotaping them. And then she was sat down and started asking questions. And I think you got hope. You joined Think and Go Rich, and then all the other events. And I think what I noticed about you is that you actually, what we're looking for young mentees is drive. We don't want just any old girl coming or woman coming in. She had the drive that she wanted to change her life. So when we started Thinking Go Rich, at that time, she had a little period where she didn't have a job, and she said, how is this thing going to change my life? How is this going to, whatever Sana's saying, is this really going to happen? After 10 months, she got a job that she wanted. She got an agent as an actress. She started college and then started thinking about starting her own business within that 10-month period. So I was really amazed, and because she was coachable and open to everybody's feedback and input, and she took it and ran with it. So I want to congratulate you. Just like Letty, we both saw you grow so much, and we're looking forward to Kriana, Avery, Carrie, and Carolyn coming on board also for this next series that we're doing, which has been a little delayed, only because we are starting a whole new program than we did before. So we're looking forward, and we appreciate all you ladies being on the call tonight and asking questions. This will be on YouTube. And so I hope your questions and answers are okay to be on YouTube within the next week or so. So congratulations, Raquel. And if no one else has any questions, I'm going to end the call, unless you have any last words. Raquel, did you want to say anything last words?
Yeah, just again, just appreciate, you know, thank you guys so much for jumping on the call. I know you guys could have been doing a million other things, and you know, I was in this situation as well where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna change my life, so why am I gonna spend half an hour, 45 minutes on this right now? But you know, I saw it turn my life around. And so the fact that you guys are here when you guys can be doing other things is already setting you apart for starting that journey too, you know, so thank you. And as always, you know, so I'm always going to be available to talk. So if you guys have any other questions, you know, you can ask Senna for my contact information or anything. I'm like an open book. If, you know, probably more than an open book. I'm like an open library at this point. But yeah, thank you so much for joining the call and for just taking the time to listen to my story.
Thank you and good night. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you. Talk to you
Bye,
soon.
guys.
Bye.